Are we witnessing the death of freedom? Hi there. Skål. Cheers. Chocolate coffee, as always. I think I have to move because of the wind. It's making wind noise, I think. So let me just move the camera a little bit. Okay, behind this rock should be good. Okay. Hi there. I finished my coffee while recording, and I realized I was recording with my hat down, so you couldn't see my face then, so I'll take my hat off and I'll try again. Okay, so the plague is upon us. Coronavirus, one of many coronaviruses, and the COVID-19. They're calling it the plague now, actually. They did, well, last night in the news there was a discussion, and one of the scientists there actually called it a plague. She said that this looks a lot more like plague than a flu. I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. It's here now. Entire countries are shutting down. And people are dying, people are getting sick. It's all over the world, basically. I'm in Norway, and the Norwegian economy is just going down the drain. In the last 6 days, we've seen a doubling, or was it more than double, of the unemployment rate. We had suddenly 84,000 new people unemployed, which is a lot in such a matter of short time in a population of 5 million, about 5 million Norwegians. So we're seeing the same in other countries as well. Now, I am concerned about what comes after this, because there will be, you know, this will pass, you know, and in one way or the other, we are going to have to go back to daily life but it's going to look different, you know. It's going to look very different. I want to ask you a question, a very important question. And I've been asking myself that question many times lately. Are we witnessing the death of freedom? Is this how freedom dies? Because we have been, I mean, at least in Europe and North America, and most other countries as well, we have been free. We can travel, we can go where we want to, when we want to, and the governments, they can't just be tyrannical, you know. That's been, we have taken that for granted. But I fear for what comes after this. And I fear that the mechanism will be like this. We just had this horrible plague. So because we had that, we have to, and we being the governments, we have to implement these restrictions, like restrictions on movement. Maybe you have to wear a tracking device. I'm being dramatic here, I know, but you are probably already carrying a tracking device. We call it a smartphone. And some countries have already started to track you through your smartphone. What about vaccines? And it's just an example, okay? So don't get all crazy about this. It's not about the discussion whether vaccines are harmful or not, or helpful or not. It's about bodily integrity. What if vaccines becomes mandatory? Well, you might say, well, that's a good thing. Well, I disagree. So you go and you get your mandatory vaccine, and you're a good citizen, right? And then there's another vaccine, and you can't choose. And then there's another one, and yet another one. So now it's the government who decides what gets injected into your body. We cannot allow that to happen. It's a very slippery and steep slope. So, what comes after this? I think it's very much up to us, the common decent people. We should not accept anything that goes against our those values that our forefathers died for. We should not accept any rule or any government that now tries to take those freedoms away. I would rather have a shorter life and die of some disease than to have my freedoms taken away. And I mean that. We are so lucky. We were born into free societies, basically free societies. And I know some would say, well, were we really that free? Well, yes, if you compare with just a few generations ago. Yeah. We were free. And we need to continue to be free. That's the only way. I cannot exist in a place where my freedom has been taken away. So now some countries, they have curfew. I could not accept that. I would leave. To the best of my abilities, I would find a way to leave. I could not accept to live in a place with curfew, where the government decides when I can go out and when I have to stay in. I know they have, right now there are very good reasons for such rules. But when you give away that freedom, you're basically putting everything, you're trusting the government to give it back to you, aren't you? And history shows us that such luxuries, they are luxuries in a historical context. And we should not take those for granted. So, who knows what comes next? I don't know. We can only guess, and I guess that we will all see what comes next. In a few weeks, we will see. And nobody knows how long this will last. The coronavirus. The COVID-19. Mark my words, it's not going to be the last plague. As I said in another video, I think we are now moving into a new age of plagues. And that has to do with globalism, it has to do with the movement of people and goods to some extent across borders. It has to do with immigration. I know some people, they don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. And it's so obvious. And some people tried to warn us and said, this is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. And they were right. I hope we will learn from this. Okay. I am going back to my hammock. And I'm going to lie in my hammock and look at the trees and the sky. No airplanes. Everything is very quiet. So, at least there's that. Okay. Take care. We will talk soon. And share this video. We need to be alert, vigilant. We need to think for ourselves. We will be tested in the days and weeks and months to come. Okay. Bye-bye. Bravely and gladly a man shall go till the day of his death is come. The sluggard believes he shall live forever if the fight he faces not, but age shall not grant him the gift of peace, though spears may spare his life.